right, welcome back to Broncos and Parts Garage. My name's Chris. This is going to be episode 4 of Daily Driven Broncos. It's a little bit different episode. This one I'm not going to do any more takes. Normally I do a lot of takes, a lot of editing, so we're just going to go one straight shot on this one. I bought this a couple days ago, and if you follow the Broncos and Parts Facebook group on Facebook, you would have seen that I posted that the throttle stuck and then the rear end exploded on me, or the transmission. So anyway, I bought the truck, negotiated a fair price, got about 5 miles from the guy's house. On the expressway, the throttle stuck wide open. So I read an article about 5 years ago about a police officer who passed away, unfortunately, with his family about a stuck throttle in a Toyota. Anyway, I was able to brake the vehicle, get it down slow enough, quickly put it in neutral, turn the key off before the engine over-revved, and I was able to stop the vehicle safely. Prior to that, during the purchase, the rear differential was making an interesting noise, a kind of a whump noise. I thought it was one of the spring mounts that had come loose and was just kind of vibrating in there. It was just barely held in the spring bracket. So I thought that might have been moving around, or I thought it might have shifted the angle of the rear end, so it was making some weird noises due to the driveline angles. I guess the rear differential was about to go. Anyway, when I put it back into drive and started, it rolled forward, and then all of a sudden, bam! About every rotation of the tire, or one loop of the circumference of the ring, with the pinion engaging, was a loud bam. So I limped it up onto service drive, went and got it the next day. So what we're going to do today is remove the rear differential cover and find out how bad the rear end is blown up. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I was told by a few of the guys that I count on for really reliable information, Lefty, and Michael and Brad, that it's probably the rear differential. Then we're going to go under the hood and find out why that throttle was sticking. A couple people said it might be cables breaking down. I think it was the butterfly sticking, but we'll find out. So let's dig in. Thanks. Before we open up the rear differential, I've already posted a video on how to do all this, so you can see it, a link in the description below. But let's get this cover off. That's gonna be. Bloop. Oh, this rear differential oil stinks. And I heard some chunks fall out of there. So let's let's get this cover out of here. Finish loosening this screw. Oh, and let's see how bad this really is. Can't be too bad, right? Yeah, there's some shrapnel in the pan. Let's take a look. Well, I would say that she's missing a few teeth. 1, 2. She's missing a whole lot of teeth. Wow. Yeah. I would say these two are missing. And 1, 2, about 5 more are missing inside there. So let me raise this up with a jack so I can spin it around. Right now I got it on some tire stands, but definitely got a blown up rear differential. And the guys are right. So right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teeth I see bad. Let's see if we can get some more. Let me raise this up. And it looks like the tone ring has been torn to pieces. All right, let's get it raised up and see if we can spin this rear end around. I'm not going to be able to raise it up while it's draining, so let's just reach inside and oh, look what we got here. These sure aren't Lucky Charms. These are chunks of metal. Let's see. Ooh, here's another one. There's another one. I don't know. What do? You make a necklace out of this stuff, guys? Is it a trophy? Because really, I didn't do any hardcore off-roading to make this happen. I just stopped the vehicle that was trying to kill me. And this was the fallout. I'm guessing something was still spinning, or I accidentally, there's another piece. The shift indicator was missing, so there's a good chance I might have went past neutral briefly and hit reverse. I don't remember. I was, obviously in panic mode. That would definitely help shear some teeth off. But I don't know. Maybe I could send these pieces to one of those guys that make those like Damascus style knives that we see on our YouTube feeds. They make knives out of chains and all sorts of odd pieces. But yeah, there's so much gravel in here. A lot of teeth. A lot of teeth. Yeah, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to raise this thing up and see if I can get it to spin and see if that's the only spot we're missing teeth. But I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 teeth. Now we just got to figure out why that throttle was sticking. But take this glove off and show you some of the carnage right there. So yeah, let me put a towel over my jack and I'll jack this up and we'll see if we can see any more destruction. So hang tight. There we go. Okay. All right, we got both wheels off the ground. I'm not going to get under there right now. I'm going to try to spin these. As I said, I've got the truck in neutral, but I've got the front wheels chalked up front. Let me see if I can turn this and see if we can see any of that carnage. Let's see. Oh yeah. There's some damage right there. Okay, now it's becoming abundantly clear. It's a little bit better view of those teeth that are sheared off. Let's give it another whirl. See if that's the only teeth we got messed up. Interestingly enough, it shouldn't be this hard to turn. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I see a whole nother section here. I think we might have broken the whole ring and pinion in half. Yeah, we're coming up to some. There's another set of teeth. This truck needs to go to the ring and pinion dentist. So I think I'm done in here. Yeah, the tone ring looks a little beat up too. We'll stop pulling pieces out of this and let's go find out why the throttle's stuck. A flathead screwdriver removed the two hose clamps connecting the air intake tubes from the throttle body to the air cleaner assembly. Now we're going to get a 7mm socket and remove the two screws that hold this throttle body cover on, so we can look at the cables as they move and the throttle bodies as they open. So let's get to it. Okay, I've got the throttle body cover off. Here's the main throttle body cable. It is still connected to the cruise control cable, but let's just hit it and see what happens. So move it back, and it's sticking. That's probably what happened to me on the expressway, and that's it's not a lot, as you can see in there, but it's enough when you're going on the expressway where this thing did not want to slow down, and I was already doing about 60-65 miles an hour. So judging by the feel of it, I think it's going to be a cable situation. As a matter of fact, you can almost hear it hanging up inside where the accelerator pedal is. So let's go take a look at that. All right, take a look underneath the dash. Here's the accelerator pedal. I'm going to push down hard, and I'm going to let up slowly. And it is hanging up. I can get my hand behind it real quick, and you could probably hear a little ting. Watch the pedal carefully. You hear that ding? So if it's down, you mash it with your foot. It is not coming all the way back, and I don't know if you can see it pivot, but something's hanging up. So let's lubricate and clean the throttle bodies and see if that solves the problem. Otherwise, we'll know it's one of the mechanisms. We'll know it's one of the mechanisms between the cable, the return spring, and the throttle body itself. We're gonna hit it with some carb cleaner to see if that changes the stickiness, but I won't be able to really rev the throttle up too much because I don't want to damage the engine. It's a fantastically running V8, 5.8 liter. It's got about 50,000 miles on it since the rebuild. So even after I spray all this carb cleaner, I'm probably going to change the oil. Give that an idle, let that dry out, and we'll see if that throttle's still sticking. That way we'll be able to determine if it was a cable issue or a throttle body sticking. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the engine off right now. I'll come back and we'll hit the throttle linkage and see if it's still hanging up. All right, moment of truth. Let's find out if she was a throttle body issue or if it was a cable issue. Let's grab it, and it's still hanging up. So I'm going to set the camera down for a second and take a look inside there and see if anything's grabbing. I'm fairly confident it's not the throttle body at this point. I'm confident that it is in the cables hanging up, just like one of the Broncos and Parts Facebook group people suggested. I'm not going to take it apart right now. I will at a later date, but I know I'm going to go in there, probably either replace all these cables or I'm going to go in there and lubricate them. I don't know how yet. I'll do some research, and we'll save that for another episode. So we're revisiting the cable. I spoke to one of my friends, Lefty Castle. He's in the Broncos and Parts Facebook group. He's what I would consider a Bronco expert. He told me to pop the throttle cable off the top of the throttle body and then test it to see if the butterflies were hanging up, and they are not hanging up. He then crunched the cable down, and we found out that it was hanging up right here in between this spring, this bushing, and where the cable slides into this bushing. And right there is where we're getting our hang up. So we'll try to spray it with some fluid film and see if that cures it, or we'll replace the cable. And it looks like we've got it fixed. Oh, no, it's still hanging up. After cycling it, after applying the fluid film, I think we solved our problem. It's not hanging up. It hangs up. Yeah, definitely need a new cable, but this is where it was hanging up. It was not the butterfly. I'm glad you stuck around to the end of the video. If you're ever in a situation where your throttle sticks for whatever reason, just remember to apply the brake, try to slow down the vehicle as best you can, put it neutral. If it's a modern car, it's not going to hurt the engine. There's going to be a rev limiter it's going to bounce off of. These old trucks don't have it, so they just rev up probably until they explode. This one didn't go that far. But remember, apply the brake, put it neutral, and get the key off as soon as you can, but do not turn the key all the way off where you lock up your steering column. I was fortunate enough to get it slowed down, decent brakes on these old trucks, get the key off, retain steering, shut the motor down, and coast to a stop. So I'll find out what was wrong with these cables. I'll go into that. I'll find a way to lube them, and then I'll update you. If you enjoyed the video, please put some comments in the comment section below, or if you have any questions. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode of Daily Driven Broncos. Thanks for watching.